Good evening, everyone. It is definitely dark o'clock. It's sometime after 9. I know you can't see me. Sorry about that. Whoops. I pressed the wrong button. What am I looking for? All right. Here we go. Hi, Cindy. I don't know if we can get any light out here. Oh, there's a little something. A little something. Not much of something. There's a little more something over there. Anyways, so I hope you guys had a good day today. I did. Spent a number of hours with a good friend, hanging out and chatting, which is always nice. So many wonderful things happen when people share themselves and their history. And so I was thinking about that. I'm like, you know what? History is so important, isn't it? There's that saying about if we don't understand history or know history, we're doomed to repeat it. So it's really important. Hey, Jonathan. Hey, Jim. It's really important that we know our history. So destroying, statues or any other things that have to do with our history doesn't make them go away. It just makes people forget that it ever happened, which that itself is a dangerous thing, I think. In the long run, 100 years from now, are people going to even know that this happened? If we don't have some kind of understanding of how we got here, how we got to this place in society, in the world, and everything. And your history is part of you. It's part of your legacy. It's part of who you are going forward. It's part of who you are after you leave, because you're passing it on to those that are here because of you, whether you had children or your ancestors came over here somehow, however they got here. That's why you're here. Like, that's kind of how it happens, right? You didn't get here because you decided after you were born, well, I think I'll just go to America, or I'll think I'll go to Africa, or I'll think I'll go to Germany, or I'll think I'll go to, Australia. Like, it happens because your ancestors are here first, however they got here. And I think that's, recognition of, like, that's where we are right now. You can't change what happened in the past without understanding how you got here, what it looks like, and how you're going to move forward. And I think sometimes that gets lost in the conversation. So that was one of the things that came up today, is like, we have to know our history. We have to know what happened before. We have to know that we want to change things, and we have to know what we want to keep the same. So there's a lot of things I would like to keep the same. There's a lot of things I would like to see change. But, you can only do that one person at a time, one day at a time, and you can only move forward from here. Looking backwards is only for understanding. You can't live your life looking backwards. You have to live your life looking forward, deciding as best you can from what you know from the past or your own history to be able to move forward. And I think that's really important to recognize, especially now. And I think those kinds of things were some of the conversations that happened up today, which I thought was interesting, because our family only came to this country with my parents. There are many people I know that go back generations in this country, and all races, creeds, colors, you name it. I have friends. I just have friends. Like, I don't separate them by, color, race, religion, ethnic background, where they grew up, or any of that stuff. We're friends because we're friends. And to me, that's the most important thing. For some reason, we connected, and we are still connected. So I'm super happy about that. Hey, Rich. So when I look at my life, really, right, I was born in this country, and just because my parents, one of them chose to come here, actually both of them, one of them was born here and then went back to Europe to live with his parents because they got divorced when he was really, really little, which was pretty rare back then. And he went to live with his dad, my dad. And then he came back here because of a job offer and met my mom, who had come over here because she had a couple uncles and aunts that lived lived here, and she wanted to see what America was all about. And she, did her due diligence and became a citizen and all that jazz, over 60 years ago, whatever it is now, 60 some odd years ago. And matter of fact, she had her picture in the paper. It was kind of cute. She still has that little picture of her standing there with all four of us and my littlest sister in a playpen. She had won a playpen, but she had the four of us there, and she had gotten her citizenship and won some kind of a contest, and had become American citizen like that day. And they had it in the newspaper. It was kind of cool. It's a cool picture, and there's so much to be learned from history. And I mean, I don't know who writes history books anymore. I don't know what they teach in school anymore because my kids have been out of school for so many years. But now I'm starting to wonder, like, do people really know what their history is, wherever they came from? And do they know about their history? Someone posted something that the first slaves to be brought into the United States were 100 white children from Ireland because they were marginalized back then. Of course, I don't know what year that was. I don't even know if it's true. Who knows? But again, this is something, do some research, find out. I'm going to look into that. If that's true, I'm sure that, someone will know somewheres around, whether it's is it Wikipedia or one of those things that you can look things up? I'm not really sure. But with the internet, you also have to be careful because there's a lot of crazy stuff out there too. Not everything in the internet or the newspapers is true. And so you have to do some due diligence and do some hard work, like use your brain. Siri can't answer everything. I know kids like that, you ask Siri something and she answers it, right? But you know what? You got to learn to use your brain and think for yourself and use your common sense. Hopefully you have common sense and figure out things so that you can make right decisions for your life and what you want to do going forward. So, it was just such a gorgeous day here in Connecticut. I was really, like I said, very happy to have spent time with a friend, a few hours, which was great. I was so happy she wanted to come and hang out with me, and we just had the best conversations ever, like that whole time. It was just a nice back and forth. Although I did drop the F-bomb a couple times by mistake. I do that once in a while when I'm excited. I probably have to apologize for that. But it does happen. Now and again, it does happen. But, I hope you guys had a good day too. And think about your history. Think about, what's your legacy? How is it that you came to this country? How is it that, your children are in this country and where they are and what they're doing? How does that impact, their lives and where they live and how they live their lives? And, maybe share some of that with them. A lot of people don't know what it was like. I'm 64, I think. People don't remember or know what it was like to live in the 50s and 60s. There was a lot of things that happened just in our country in those years. And I think, a lot of those kinds of things are really important to recognize and to see what kind of culture we had then. What's changed now? How have things changed? Some for the better, some for the worse. And, what can you do for your part? Hey, Risa. What can you do for your part of making this a better world? Can you send love to people? Even if you don't know how to do that, you can just think it, and that works. You can just think, I'm going to send love to everybody. I'm going to send love to people around the world. I'm going to send love to those that are marginalized. I'm going to send love to those that feel hopeless and helpless. I'm going to send love to those that are struggling today or any day. I'm going to send loves to those that are, working double and triple time because of their jobs. I'm going to send love to those that aren't working at all and can't get unemployment, like me. I haven't been able to get into the system. It says I'm not authorized for some crazy reason. I was 1 week, and then it just disappeared. So I don't know what that's all about, but I'm going to keep trying. Can't seem to get anybody either there, but I know they're working overtime. So thank you for that. But there's a lot of people that are can't work at all, and there's a lot of people suffering in many ways. So just send them love and light, send them good thoughts, send them hope. That's another way of looking at it. So I send you all those things. I hope you have a good evening. We'll be back again tomorrow, hopefully earlier in the daytime at some point. And we'll I'll be thinking about different things like that, and my own history, and where I came from. I don't know. I just feel like today it just came up, and it just seems to be as important now as any time to be thinking those things. So I hope you guys have a good evening. It's getting late, but I do want to sign off in the usual manner. The sun is always shining. It is not shining here in Connecticut at this time. However, it probably is in California right about now, and just starting to go down into the Pacific Ocean. But another nice thought is, and I can see a lot of them here. I don't think you can see them on camera, but there's a lot of stars out tonight, guys. If you get a chance, get outside, take a look at all the stars. Let's see if I can see any, or if I can put any on camera. I don't think they're coming up on camera at all. No, probably not. Anyways, there's a lot of beautiful stars out tonight. It's very, very clear. So if you get a chance to sit outside for a few minutes, put your feet in the grass, and enjoy this wonderful evening in Connecticut. So I wish you a good evening. The sun is always shining, just like universal love and intelligence taking good care of you on a around-the-clock basis. So signing off for now. Love you guys. Have a good night. Bye-bye.